Think of society as a road, and we are all cars driving on it. On the road, you can find things such as stop signs and speed limits that control and ensure that we're all abiding by the rules and roads of the road. In society, this is social control. There are things in a society that make sure that we abide by the norms, whether it being how we are socialized to obey our parents, dress codes introduced by peer groups, or abiding by the speed limit set by the government. Social control occurs on all levels of a society, and if you don't follow it, you are considered deviant. There are two forms of social control: conformity and obedience. Conformity means going along with a social norm enforced by a group of your own status, like wearing something cool to be accepted by your friends. On the other hand, obedience is when you comply to a higher authority, like the government. In order to promote abiding by social norms, we use sanctions. These sanctions can be carried out by informal and formal social controls. If I wear something lame like galaxy print leggings, my friends are going to laugh at me, and I won't do it, and I'll be embarrassed, so I won't do it again. This is an example of informal social control. However, if I murder someone, I will go to jail. This is an example of formal social control. Formal social control tends to be either a last resort to an informal social control or socialization not working, or when people break the law, which are the most important norms in a society. So what happens if we don't abide by social norms? We are considered deviant. But it's very important to note that being deviant isn't always a bad thing. Martin Luther King was considered a deviant at his time. Now he's a symbol of social justice. Kim Kardashian was seen as a deviant for wearing biker shorts. Now we all do it. Also, what is deviant in one culture can be accepted by another. For example, a woman wearing shorts is absolutely normal in many Western countries. But in conservative cultures like Saudi Arabia, showing a lot of skin is highly looked down upon and can even be considered criminal in some places. People in these societies may even refer to these women as harlots or other derogatory words to stigmatize them and devalue their place in society simply because of the way they dress. Different sociological perspectives see deviance in different ways. Functionalists see deviance as a normal part of life that allows us to define the limits of proper behavior. When you scold a child for making a mess, they learn not to do it again. Emile Durkheim introduced the term anomy to refer to the abnormality of behavior that occurs during a time of social change. During a revolution, people don't know how to act, which may result in higher rates of violence, suicide, and depression. Interactionists focus on explaining why deviance continues to exist in societies, despite pressures to conform and obey. The interactionist perspective provides us with two explanations of crime: cultural transmission and social disorganization theory. Edwin Sutherland states that cultural transmission emphasizes that people learn criminal behavior through social interactions. Sutherland explains that people learn their definition of proper and improper behavior through interactions with a primary group. He uses the term differential association to describe the process in which people being exposed to an environment that promotes criminal activity may lead to criminal behavior. The social disorganization theory states that the social relationships in this community affects people's behavior. According to this theory, increases in crime and deviance can be attributed to the absence of the strong communal relationships in institutions like family, school, and church, and the local government.
The labeling perspective emphasizes that society brands some people who engage in a behavior as deviant, but not others, based largely on a person's social class, race, or ethnicity. Conflict theorists state that people with power define deviance in a way that suits their own interests. For example, in Jim Crow America, people speaking against racial segregation were deviant, as those in power were white and benefited from the oppression of black people. Conflict theorists believe that the criminal justice system treats people in the United States differently based on their racial, ethnic, and social class background. This differential justice highly disadvantages people of color, as they receive longer sentences than white people. Both labeling and conflict perspectives stress that people in a place of power in a society can commit deviant acts without being seen as deviant, as they have the power to shape society in a way that suits them.